Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News, and one of the more dramatic days you are ever going to see in the Valorant community goes down last night. Some great games in Champions, but also Zombs and the Sentinels, guys, coming at the Brazilian community. You guys know how this one ends already. Very much intrigued your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting the like button is the best thing you can do. Tell this channel reach new people. Please consider subscribing as well. If you have not yet already, you guys are not going to want to miss the drama and the chaos I'm sure that's going to happen over the coming days. Firstly, this was going down before the day even began with regard to, well, firstly from FNS. This experience has been miserable. I don't think I've ever used that word. Definitely describing the situation a lot of the players are in right now, given the fact that they, well, some of them, Envy for example, with Victor testing positive, can't play on the main stage. And there were a load of tweets at the start of yesterday informing, like, that, well, the public, that something significant was going on behind the scenes. Six says, this cryptic tweet here to inform me that a sad thing happened, but no context. Thank you for reading, everyone. No, this is what Mixwell comes out to say a little bit afterwards, just to kind of explain what he believes is the situation. New cases, basically a load of players tested positive, basically, and you know, many have been in contact with them. Pretty much it means that not only like competing at the event is an issue, they've got to play in these kind of quarantine facilities within the hotel, but also, like, given the German restrictions right now, even getting home from there is a massive problem. So this is really causing some chaos. Like, as he says, there's panic among the attendees that even after they finish the tournament, they won't be able to leave. They're going to be stuck there for ages. All these types of questions were coming out. Now, you know, thankfully, Riot's come out with this statement a little bit later, and they go on to say, look, actually, the health and safety of our players is, of course, of the paramount importance, all this type of stuff. As a precaution, all players are required to take these, you know, these rapid tests. Now, it seems like a load of players tested positive for these rapid tests, but then, you know, further reduced to negative results for the PCR test. So it's, you know, what's even the point doing these rapid tests if they just produce all these false positives and aren't particularly accurate? But thankfully, a load of these players that actually maybe did test positive and they thought it was going to be chalked for them, they wouldn't be able to play on the stage, they're going to be stuck there for ages. They actually tested negative on the PCR and they are good to go. And hopefully guys like Nevera, for example, test negative on the PCR soon as well, so they can get back onto the main stage and competing here, like at least when they get through their group, as we will look at here in just a second, to the major tournament. So they also tweet this out yesterday. I thought was quite remarkable, given the backlash really from the Vivo Keyed series yesterday up against Ascend, right, where they lost in the final map, or at least they got forfeited in the final map that we looked at yesterday, basically because I guess maybe because of the backlash against this, I'm not really sure. Like they come out and say, actually, upon further deliberation, we will be, well, delaying the first matches to review the ruling against Vivo Keys, whether that was fair, whether that was not fair. Like they're going to look into it, right, and still, at least as of recording, no decision has yet been made on that. So they decide to cancel the series that would have gone on that as a result of that, Ascend versus Envy, because if they review this, I guess, and decide to replay Vivo Keyed versus Ascend, then you know, what happens there, like who plays Envy and all this type of stuff. So really strange. I think that it's kind of strange, to be honest, they didn't stand by this decision, because I thought it was probably a reasonable one, all things considered, given the previous punishment that was given out to other teams that did a similar thing, this kind of you know, illegal cipher cam that people were discussing with the texture glitches. So definitely a really strange one. I'll keep you guys up to date on that situation. But well, let's talk about the first series then. So the Brazilians, the other guys, the Vikings, they were back in action playing up against Gambit, and this was a phenomenal series. Game 1, Gambit were down early on. Like Vikings played really, really well, and Gambit came back in the end and won this first map. So you know, here on Split, so fair play to them. Like it was kind of expected at this point. Gambit, they have a slow start. They win the first map anyway. It feels like, okay, they're going to walk away with this series, not too much of an issue. But then Vikings go to bind and win that one very comfortably indeed, 13-5, I believe. So all of a sudden, Gambit are on the back foot again. They're going into an icebox where they have a very slow start, and honestly, it was a dominant performance in the first half here, especially for Vikings on this icebox, looking like they were going to qualify straight out of that group C, into the bracket. And Gambit very much on the back foot. It was really looking slow for them, as you can see right here. Like, you know, it goes 7-3. Even more rounds come through in favor of Vikings, and it really looked like they were going to run away with this map. However, that is not how it finishes off. It goes 12-5 at one point. So Vikings drop 12-5. They need just one round of the next like 7 or whatever to win this game, and that's not how it goes. The collapse comes through in full force. We've seen some collapses like this from before. Gambit honestly have been one of the key culprits that's kind of committed some of these collapses in the past, but this time they're on the other end of things. 12-11, they bring you back all the way from 12-5 to 12-12. Vikings complete collapse. Then they go into overtime, and of course Gambit are going to win the overtime in this situation as well, just because like at that point, like the confidence is just completely shot for Vikings. Like you've just thrown the map away. They lose it 12-14, and the series goes the way of Gambit, and Gambit advance. This is honestly remarkable. I've never seen anything really like this. It's rare to see a collapse quite like that. I mean, as you can see at this point, it looked all over, and then 7 rounds in a row for Gambit on the defense, and then they win overtime as well. 14-12 goes their way. Like remarkable remarkable series. They really got tested. Vikings looked great. They've still got a chance here in the tournament. But, I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, like, you can look at the full series stats. stacey, what a monster this guy is for the Vikings team. Really great performance from him. And, I mean, yeah, shahZaM's had his moments on the other side as well. But, of course, as a result of this, there was some drama that kicked off here on the timeline. So, this is what ShahZaM said, right? Because he was kind of getting talked about from the Brazilian guys who were on the Furious squad when the timeout was called by Riot because they thought the Fury were using some sort of exploit, which turned out not to be the case. And people were having a go at ShahZaM for, you know, going to take a piss or whatever during the tech pause. So ShahZaM says should have called the tech pause, pretty much saying like, look, you should have killed their momentum in the comeback by taking this tech pause, which is what people were kind of accusing Sentinels of doing up against Fury in that game. Now, well, some replies come in from the Brazilian community, and ShahZaM says, look, I'm making light of an unfortunate situation. You refuse to accept what happened and choose to be upset. These games should bring us together, have some fun, he says. You know, proceed to antagonize the entire region. It's a joke. We couldn't change the past. Fury got their momentum ruined by a dumb tech pause, and I got a lot of undeserved hate. Both suck, I agree. Your joke antagonizes an entire region and fuels an already bad situation. We should be grown-ups in the room. And, well, this is what Zom says. Can't wait to beat your trash region again. Now, I think what some people are looking into this is like maybe they think he's talking about the country in general. I'm pretty sure he's just talking about the quality of the teams in the region and just talking some trash on that. Thought this was kind of a funny reply, actually, the one in 15 from a while ago. But, yeah, this is really where things, well, it really starts antagonizing the community. And this is where, like, the DMs are going to be absolutely flooded, especially with this that comes out from Zombs yesterday. Brazil need to do less typing and more playing. So, you know, as a result of that series, right, where Vikings lose it, and of course, all the other things that happened over the last couple of days with the Brazilian scene in a bit of a tough spot, he's very much antagonizing the community. And, I mean, look, you know how this is going to end in terms of some of these replies, the quote tweets, and, well, the reaction from the Brazilian scene over the next several days. And, well, continuing right now is going to be absurd. This, for example, from Pure, Zombs is 1 versus 200 plus million right now. Like, it's honestly just kind of absurd, the battle that Zombs is fighting. Like, you know, this also, for example, he talks about, like, you know, total players in terms of prize earnings. This guy comes out with an image right here, and Zombs, you know, this is worth more, like the watch he's got on right now. And that's, of course, not where it ends, right? Imagine an entire region's fans, influencers, casters, players, because there was a lot of replies from players. Bolts, for example, a Brazilian CSGO player. Not sure if he plays Valorant now, but he definitely was a CSGO player for a while. And he played for Immortals and SK Gaming. I'm pretty sure he subbed in for them as well for a little bit of time and won some event with them. But he replied to Zombs and said, like, you know, if this guy doesn't get a fine or a punishment really from Riot, then, you know, something seriously is going wrong. And pretty much everyone was coming at Zombs. When everyone's trash talking over nothing, then when you say anything back, they all start crying and calling for punishment from Riot, which is certainly what was happening right here. Like, I mean, honestly, it was absolute chaos on the timeline. And, I mean, this also from dapr was, you know, far from ideal. But, you know, we don't want to post stuff like this. Like, I don't know if there's going to be any backlash for this specifically or for these tweets in general. This is what one of the Brazilian casters said, you know, bro, racism just like that, based on, like, you know, of course, this reply to Zombs' tweet. So, honestly, I don't even know what's going on anymore. I can't believe the timeline was this chaotic last night. And, I mean, yeah, like, everything was just kicking off, to be honest. Now, you know, there was still another series of the day, and that was Sentinels had to play up in. Like, very much intrigued to your thoughts and all this stuff in the comment section below, to be honest. But let's talk about this final series, because this was a banger. First up, Sentinels tweet this out more like a whisper, because Scream was going 0-5 early on, and then Team Liquid say, you know, it wouldn't be fair otherwise, wanted to give you a fighting chance, no mercy anymore, and they make all the comeback. I mean, this game one was just spectacular here on Breeze. Zombs clutched a really nice 1v3 to win this game, but it wasn't quite, or at least to win this round particularly, but it wasn't enough to win the map on the whole. And yeah, Team Liquid take this game one, but game two is a different story. It goes the way of Sentinels. You know, TenZ certainly had his moments here on this game on the Viper, and I mean, he was making some plays for sure. And I mean, this is just going to be a cracking series on paper, right? Team Liquid versus Sentinels. So much talent on these rosters. Some of the top favorites for the entire team, of the entire, you know, some of the favorite teams for the entire tournament. And I mean, yes, certainly these squads are right up there on that list. And I hope that both of these teams make it out of the group, and we can see them potentially match up again at some point in the future and the rest of this tournament, because it's going to be exciting stuff. Goes all the way to game 3 here on Split, and Team Liquid win this round. They're not winning the game, like, thanks to Scream in part. Like, he was making some plays here for sure. Like, this map is very chaotic at times, and yeah, of course, the Viper's pick comes out into full effect. But yeah, goes the way of Team Liquid in the end. Potentially a rematch in the future, who really knows? But yeah, Scream, Yampy, like, everyone had pretty much had a good series here. Zombs didn't have the greatest one on the other side of things, but I mean, yeah, like, a very well balanced affair. Yampy, Soulcast, like, Link, they all had their moments, to be honest, in this one. And I mean, yeah, goes the way in the end of the guys on Team Liquid. We can just look at the results here. 14-12, map 1 actually went all the way to overtime, and Team Liquid just about closing out. Game 2 was dominant for Sentinels, and then game 3 was 13-10 for Team Liquid. So yeah, ends up working out for them. I just wanted to mention this as we finish off the video then. The schedule coming up for today. So still, Group A is on hold. We don't know right now when Keyd Stars versus X10 Crit is going to happen, if that's even going to happen, and they're going to have to replay Ascend versus Keys, who knows what's going on there. Still delays going on. So instead, the 3 games going on today are from Group B, C, and D in terms of this elimination match. So 3 teams are going to be eliminated today. Team Liquid, Gambit, and Fnatic all now qualified officially through to the bracket. And Ascend versus Envy or whatever's going to go on here, that will have to wait. But yeah, Team Secret, Crazy Raccoon, Kree Sports, Furia, and then Full Scent versus Cloud9 Blue. 3 of these teams will be out of the tournament by the end of the day if the bracket goes as we expect it to. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on that like button and tell the YouTube gods this is a good video, and I was like you should see it as well, and upgrade the competitive Valorant community. Thank you much as always, take care, and I will see you next time.